I'm Bobby Brink, and you're watching Nasty Knuckles.
You're listening to Nasty Knuckles, the Hockey Outlaws podcast, with your hosts, Derek Nasty Sedemeyer and former Philadelphia Flyer enforcer Riley Cote, as they go behind the scenes with your favorite NHL players. Time to face off.
All right, welcome back. What's happening, Nasty?
What's up, Rigarelia?
Looking pretty fresh.
Just feeling pretty fresh. Nice
Yeah.
and cool outside. Not. It is hotter than Hades, and you like it hot in here, and I don't understand it.
Well, you get the ice box going.
It's because it's 100 degrees outside,
Yeah,
bro.
I understand.
Yeah, man.
Looking good.
Yeah, you too. You too, man. Want to touch on real quick as we get started here with episode 165. Went to Tony's viewing last night. Our good friend Tony Voce. Obviously, we did the pod last week, celebrating Tony, and it was last night. It's you hate seeing. Well, you love seeing people you haven't seen in a while, but not at that cost, obviously. But so much love.
Yeah,
so
a ton of
many
it.
people. I wonder how many total, because like we
line.
you know our we waited 45 minutes probably just to get our foot in the door.
Oh, yeah.
Which was obviously we would have waited 2 hours. But you know, so many great pictures.
Oh,
Seeing
so
Tony
many
in
awesome
his
pictures.
in his glory. You know, there's a lot of pictures of him dancing and being Tony, and it just made you smile. Seeing the family. It's hard.
It was
hard
tough.
going through that line once we got there, and but you know, it was tough talking to his brother, you know, and he was thankful about the pod that we did, and everyone that joined us, and we thank everyone again that did join us: Josh Gratton, Neil Little, Tom Bunting, and Johnny
saw it last
Stevens
night,
as
too.
well. Yeah, who was obviously there last night, and just so much love there, and support for his family.
Yeah. Yeah, it was tough, but as you mentioned, so many good pictures and like collages everywhere, videos going.
Videos, yeah.
I thought overall, as sad as it was, there was a pretty good energy
Yes.
around, you know, with everyone that was around, and yeah, I mean, nothing easy about funerals, but especially when it's, you know, quick and sudden and tragic
Yes.
like that. But everyone was standing strong, and getting a lot of smiles and
Yeah.
good memories, obviously being
Yeah.
shared. So
For sure. So rest in peace, buddy.
yeah, no doubt.
Gonna be missed by tons of people. What do you got going this week? Anything this weekend?
No, I was planning on piggybacking off your little road trip, but
Heading down
can't
to
make it work.
North Kakalaki.
Oh yeah,
See my boys Dylan Fence.
there you go.
Can't wait. They're going to be at the North Carolina Museum of Art in Raleigh.
There you go.
Big show. Got about 10, 12 strong
Oh wow,
coming from all my boys. Yep. So I can't wait to see everyone.
back with the crew.
Yeah,
Oh man,
It'll
look
be
out.
a good couple days there.
Yeah,
Get
I'm
to see
sure.
my mom. Haven't seen my mom in a while, which sucks. So I'm like, I can't drive all the way down there and not go stay with my mom for
No,
a
of
few
course
days.
not.
So it's gonna be fun, man. It's
Yeah.
gonna be fun. Dylan Fence, baby.
Ooh, you gonna go 100% sober?
Take some Klyr Rum and a little bit of water and mix some other things in. But also wanted a quick shout out to Patrick Custer. Met him this morning. He was changing my meter box, and I talked to him for a second. I was cleaning up out front, and then he waited on me and he said, "Hey, you have a podcast or something? Your voice sounds familiar." I'm like, well, it's a good thing you don't watch it because you don't have to see my face. But it was just kind of funny, random, and he was like, "Oh my God, I love you guys." So it was cool. Wanted to say hi to Patrick. It was a cool meeting. him
Yeah,
this
that's
morning. It
pretty
was
funny. What are the chances of that?
I know, right? It was-
Recognized by the voice. You got something
the voice,
special there,
That's
Nast.
bad. That's
no,
bad.
that's great.
Oof.
You got a good crisp voice.
Oh no, I'm not sure I do.
No?
It's pretty annoying to me, but anyway, Riggs, number 165 today.
Whew.
I know. Can you
It's
believe
hard
it?
to. No, I really can't.
You
Hard to
say
believe.
that a lot. It is, though.
It's a shock. Every week's a shock.
It's a shock.
It's a shock.
But before this episode, number 165 with Bobby Brink,
Ooh,
Bobby
yeah.
Orr, Brink, Bobo.
Brink House.
The Brink House?
The Brink House.
Oh, they should rock that when he scores.
Oh, why not?
He's a Brink House.
Been chasing after him for a while.
Yeah, been chasing him. We got the young man coming in today, so we appreciate that. But before that, let's get to our betting segment. Brought to you by Bet365.
This segment is brought to you by Bet365, proud partner of Nasty Knuckles. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Use code HOCKEYCA.
All right, Riggs. Coming off a big win last week with my pick with Messi's team, even though Lionel Messi was hurt. They ended up winning. So
Congrats.
Coming off a dub, I think you took a tough L in the finals.
Yeah.
Though you had him going to finals, but the Joker couldn't come through. But anyway, I'm jumping to the Olympics today.
Oh, I love it.
Yes, I am. And I'm going to go with the women's soccer team from the U.S.
Of course.
I'm going to go with them at a plus 175 to win the tournament. We need something good from USA Soccer, and I'm hoping that they get it done. So I'm going to take that risk. Plus 175 on the women's national soccer team.
Ooh, I love it. Well, I'm staying in the Olympics as well.
Yep.
Going to shift gears. Javelin thrown asked.
Oh, well, I know you have some expertise in that, and that is a huge shift.
Been doing my research.
Okay, all right.
Digging into the analytics. You know how I love to do that.
I know that.
All day long.
Yep.
Checking it out. And I'm going with Jakub Vadleks.
The Czech?
The Czech. Talked to our boy Voracek.
Yeah.
Said this is the guy. Javelin throw. He knows him. And it's plus 200.
Oh.
Edging out the favorite, Neeraj Chopra.
Ooh, Chopi's pretty tough. He's got a good arm.
Do you think he?
I think Jakob's going to take it,
I
too.
think so,
I think
too.
that's a pretty good play.
Yeah, plus 200.
Yeah.
Winning it all outright.
Yeah, he can do it.
I think so too.
Great pick.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Welcome back. I'm Riley Cote.
And I'm Derek Settlemeyer, and this week we're super excited to finally get this young man into the studio.
Yeah.
Former 34th pick overall, second round in 2019 to the Philadelphia Flyers, Mr. Bobby Orr Brink, or as the boys call him, Bobby O, and I like to call him the Brink House.
Brink House.
Bobby, welcome in, brother.
Thank you.
Appreciate you stopping by.
Oh, man. Yeah, buddy, just want to start by congratulating you. You just signed a 2-year deal, man. I'm sure that's feels good to get that out of the way.
Yeah, thank you. I was really excited, and it was a special moment, and it was really, I was excited to get the deal done and that sort of deal.
Yeah, and it sounds like obviously there's been conversation throughout the season with your agent and Danny. You know that something's in the works, and then you finally get it done. Like how much are you involved in conversations, or are you just minding your own business, doing the work, and then checking in every now and then?
Yeah, I tried to stay out of it as much as I could. I didn't want to worry about it while I was playing. I knew something would end up getting done in the off season, so. I wasn't super worried about it. I kind of just tried to leave it up to my agent, and I didn't want it to affect my play or anything.
Yeah.
So try not to worry about it, and then this off season just asked my agent a couple of times what the deal was, and I think it must have been, I don't know what the whole deal was. I really didn't even ask the details behind how it ended up happening, but yeah, he just kind of called me one day. And said, deal's ready. I think you should go sign it right now. And so it kind of just happened kind of like that for me. Went in, signed it, and it was almost like a 20-minute kind of thing. It was just there and signed, nice. And yeah.
Exciting time going into the off season.
Yeah, right. You signing that 3-year deal we talked about. You're like, where do I sign?
Oh yeah, let's get it done ASAP.
Yeah, it's smart way to handle it on your part, Bobby, because you pay an agent for a reason, right? Mm-hmm. And you need to worry about playing, and he did that, and you got a great deal, and it's a nice little deal to lead into the season, like you said, not having to really worry about that. So good for you, man. Yeah,
and then here we are in the off season. You went back home. Sounds like for a little bit. You're back in the Philly area.
I've been out here pretty much all summer. I went home for a week last week. But there's a few guys out here just working out and skating. We've been playing a ton of golf. But other than that, yeah, I've really enjoyed the off season here. There's a great setup at the rink, and so yeah, I've had a great summer out here in Voorhees.
Lots of work going on in that rink, boy. Spending a lot of money. It's going to be really nice. I was talking to Danny the other day and kind of telling me everything that was going on.
More
in there.
upgrades?
Yeah, more.
Oh, yeah.
More.
Extension of the gym, or what we got going now?
Well, I know where the sauna and all that was in the old medical room, they're doing
it's
some
like
work.
the dry room and where the medical room was, and saunas and cold tubs. I mean, the place is already unbelievable.
Yeah.
I didn't even think they needed an
I know,
upgrade.
right?
Extra hot tub, extra sauna.
Just more for hugs.
Yeah,
Poor
right.
hugs, just more for him to straighten up after you guys. He's the best. Mike Crater's my boy. Oh, Huggy.
So I guess you're in like the swing of things here in your training. What's a typical day looking like right now? You do mostly off ice stuff.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of just working out. I think we'll start skating a little bit more coming up here, but I mean, we've been on the ice, just not every day. Trying to focus on the gym, get bigger and stronger in there. I think that's kind of an area where my game can improve. So kind of just focusing more of my energy there instead of other places has been good. Playing a lot of golf. It's usually a workout. If we skate, we
Sweating
skate.
your balls
and then
off there.
Yeah,
95
sweating here
degrees.
in Voorhees.
we leave the rink and then manage to get the 2 p.m. golf time right in the hottest point of the day.
Hottest time
Sweat
of
it
the
out.
day,
Yeah.
right? Definitely got to be wearing white out there, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And just going back to your workouts there, you mentioned adding some maybe muscle, some strength. Like there's a fine line of adding muscle and working against you, or it's like taking away from functionality. Are those conversations you've had with the strength team, or is that something that you're even worried about because it's tougher to do in this day and age? Or
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. It's not super easy for me to put on weight, so I'm not super worried about it. I probably need to put on a little bit of weight if anything. So, but yeah, our strength guys do a great job. I mean, they communicate well, and a lot of our workouts are functional and to make us athletic and that sort of deal, as well as get stronger, which is always important. But yeah, they make it so the best they can to translate to a hockey game. So, they do a great job keeping us athletic.
yeah.
Dan Warren.
Yeah, he is awesome. And then
Very good at his job.
Yeah, going into the off season from your year-end meetings, was there something specific that, whether it was Torts or Danny B or the strength team, that really suggested you focus on, or is that kind of pretty well known already?
Yeah, I mean, I know where I need to get better, and we had a conversation about it, and a lot of it came back to the gym and just being more explosive and being stronger, maybe on pucks and that sort of thing. So a lot of it was focused on the off season. I mean, I knew it's an important off season. Still, as a younger player, there's a lot where I can improve, and we talked about that, and so it's been a big focus just to try to have the best off season I can, and try to improve in the areas that I need to, which is probably the gym the most, if anything.
I was going to ask you too, as a young guy, there's almost this element of you're not 100% required, but you're a young guy, so it's automatically you think that you have to do a certain level of work. Every skate you have to attend. I know it's changed a little bit with young guys. There is obviously a more focus on recovery and having the ability to make a decision on your own because of just how are you going to perform that night. How much of that as a young guy is it just kind of the expectation is to do this much because you're a young guy, versus maybe implementing that wisdom at a young age too? Yeah,
there's definitely you feel you should be working hard, and I mean you're trying to prove yourself and get better and improve your game, and I mean you gotta do the extra work if you're gonna get better.
Sure.
And I mean I've never really minded doing that extra work, and you feel better. Just I feel it's knowing how to do it, where I mean on a game
doing
day,
it smart, you mean?
Yeah,
right.
not staying out on the ice for an hour working on one-timers and stuff before a game. Maybe going out there, but maybe not doing that, or after a game, getting your lift in maybe then instead of like killing yourself in the gym the day before.
Totally.
Like,
Right.
Yeah,
prize where-
wise effort.
yeah, like kind of learning when to put in that extra work.
Gears
I was going to
in.
ask, growing up in Minnesota, state of hockey, how young were you when you first got on the ice, or do you remember?
I think I started getting on the ice like 2 maybe.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
My dad played, so like I was always gonna play hockey, and
Right.
I mean, I don't even remember the first time I was on the ice. So my dad always said it was somewhere around like 2.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
that's growing up in Minnesota, that sounds
Yeah.
about right.
Yeah.
And you said your dad was a hockey player. Obviously, a huge fan. Your middle name is Orr. So obviously, he was a Bobby Orr fan.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, my dad like he played hockey at Minnesota, and I think he's like a big history guy, and like he loves like hockey history and like sports history, and just history in general, I guess. But like, yeah, my brothers are named after Henry and Maurice Richard.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's like it was. I don't know if my mom got a lot of say. In the whole
Doesn't
naming
sound
process.
like it.
She got the first names, you got the second names. Yeah.
It was always gonna, like he always like says like what names like he would have like named people and it was like Ben Hogan Brink or like Willie. Yeah, it's like always like something like that. So
Yeah,
like
right.
it was always gonna be after someone.
That's great.
great.
Well, growing up, who was your favorite player? Growing up, who did you look up to or want to play like? Or?
Yeah, like I was like kind of like a bandwagon fan. Like every day, like I came in with, or I was like had a new favorite player. But it was probably like always like Sidney Crosby and Patrick Kane, and
Yeah.
it was always those guys.
That's not a bad.
Yeah,
not a
right.
bad couple
Yeah.
players
Yeah.
there, for sure.
The high end skill.
Yeah, not bad.
Right.
Not bad at all. There's a lot of talk around the Flyers, obviously, right now with Matvei Michkov. Somehow Danny works the magic, or whoever worked the magic, but bringing him in, what are your thoughts about that, and like how much of a buzz is it around you guys?
Yeah, I mean, people are really excited about it. I've never seen him play. I have no idea. What I've heard though is he's a great player and that he's gonna help the team out. So, I mean, I think the guys are excited to meet him and excited to see him get on the ice. But yeah, what I'm hearing is that he's gonna be a great player.
Yeah, his highlights for sure.
Yeah.
Or
You
his
look like
highlight
you in men's league.
Oh
now.
yeah, just like it. No, Bobby, trust me, he's making fun of me right now. Trust me, and anyone that knows me knows he's making fun of me. Yeah, like our initial thoughts, like you think he's coming maybe next year. Originally it was 3 years, and then maybe he was going to get to come over a little early, like Fedotov did this year, but. Getting him in here now and getting adjusted to this game as you young guys are coming up together, I think it's just going to be so much fun to watch. A lot of skill, like with yourself, Frosty, Bees, and I mean, go down the line, Tip, and bringing him in, I think is really going to help. It's probably going to be very exciting because just watching his highlights is obviously he's got some flair for the dramatics in his game. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was going to say, too, like coming off this past season, obviously you guys, I would say overachieved, but you guys had a hell of a season, come up short for playoffs. And then, coming off that season, just in general, right, the good energy you guys are feeling, and then adding a piece like that, I don't know, from an outsider looking in, it's got to be exciting internally there, too, as far as like, you guys already know you're trending in the right direction, and to add some offensive firepower and just, some good energy seems to, excite you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're really excited about the team coming up this year. Like, I think there's a lot of belief in the locker room. There was belief last year too, and I think that's why we exceeded everyone's expectations was because everyone believed that we had a good team. So, I think. Again, I don't know what people are saying about what the team's going to be, but we believe that we have a good chance to make the playoffs here. And, I mean, you just see, like, it's 82 games, and you got to be on for most of them. So
Yeah, you do. And that's the one thing we talked about a lot on here and talking to Danny and Jonesy, just how hard you guys worked. And there's ways, you never want to lose, and Riley brings this up a lot. Riley coached as well after he played. But there is a certain way to lose a game. Like, you don't ever want to lose, but you're losing games where you're in the game, and it sucks losing.
Dogfight.
Yeah, and it's a
end.
dogfight. Even like one of our big sponsors is Fans of Philly, so we were up in Boston when you guys were up there at Reamers when they celebrated JVR's 1,000th game, and it looked like you guys were out of it, and next thing you know, three are in the back of the net, and it's a game again, and it's just that dog that you have, and you guys have in you, and like post game wins, you got the mask, the chain, and all that. I don't know if that's what that's about, but it's a lot of fun to watch, and you guys brought the fan base back in. I mean, obviously it helps with Mr. Hilferty, Jonesy, and Danny Briere knowing that Flyer history, but it is a lot of fun to watch, and I'm really looking forward to this year, just like you said.
Yeah, can you touch on like maybe something you've noticed like internally as far as that team chemistry? Because people talk about the team, and we have a close team, but like something that you've noticed that's like obvious that's important to the success of the team.
Yeah, I think like just the guys like buying in, like everyone's like will to win, I think is high on the team. Like I think we got a lot of guys that are willing to sacrifice and buy into a structure and into the team, and that's what made us successful. Like you guys got like guys like Seals who, I mean, he's putting his body in front of every puck. Yorkie, the same thing. Like, I think we have a lot of guys that are doing stuff like that, and maybe like being a little harder in the D zone than some guys maybe would want to. Like I think guys they bought in so much, and it made us successful. Like because maybe other teams have higher end skills, like there's like Davids and out there, but we bought into, I think, just a team instead of a one guy or type of deal.
No, you can see it.
Yeah, the energy's there, and we'll speak to Torts then, because he's kind of steering the ship there from up top, and obviously he has a history of getting guys to buy into to his philosophy. So I mean, can you speak to that? Because it seems like guys are on board and they're pulling their weight.
Yeah, guys buy into what he's saying. That if you want to play an important role on the team and get ice time, that you have to do a job and you have to do what he's asking of you. And and it gives the team structure, and it gives guys something to fall back on, and everyone's predictable because people are buying into his structure, and that leads to success. Just guys that's how you play fast, is guys are playing predictable. You know where to go because kind of what that guy's thinking. So he does a great job of just kind of like telling you how to play and kind of like playing within that sort of structure.
Yeah,
absolutely. Sure. Where do you see like the direction of the team going besides like the obvious, like you're trending in the right way, add some pieces, like the philosophy itself remain the same? Like just like where do you see this thing going? Is just younger guys stepping up? Is it just everyone just becoming more confident? How do you see this ship being built a little bit better?
Yeah, I think that guys are just gonna keep growing. I mean, we had a young team last year, and we're gonna have a young team again. And I don't think the way we're gonna play is gonna change at all. I think we're gonna try to be hard and sacrifice and that sort of deal. But I think just guys are going to keep improving and getting better naturally throughout as they grow older and kind of gain experience in the league and more confidence. So I think that's kind of just the change that might be next year.
Yeah.
I had a question. It's it's about apparel. Shifting gears for just a second, we saw Mike Levsick last night, Tuna, our boy Tuna, one of your equipment managers. Did you find your hat?
I don't even know what hat we're talking about.
He told me you came to him and you said, "Boys, I can't find my hat." And he took you to the stall and lifted it up. And you're like, "Oh, and there's my shirt too." They're like, you said that. He said, I said, "Bobby, how long have you not had it?" He's like, "A couple months, I think." And he's like, so he goes, "Let's go to the stall." So it's just things that old equipment guys like me laugh at because I've done that. So I probably did it with you as a player, but I got a chuckle out of it. He goes, "Yeah, Bobby's like, I don't know, I don't have a hat." And he said, He said it was something you didn't know it lifted up or something in the change room, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, like I probably just left it laying on the floor or something, like being an idiot. And
that's great.
And he put it back where it's supposed to be, and I had no idea that it was supposed to be there. And,
we just got to chuckle. We just got to chuckle out of it. I just thought it was funny because that happens every day, with the boys. But I wanted to ask you this year. You at the end of the year, you went down to Lehigh for that playoff run. And how important it was. Obviously, you were a national champion in 2022 with Denver, like I had said earlier. But getting that pro playoff experience, it's a different animal, I would imagine, for you. And how much do you think that's going to help you going forward, especially with the way we're building the Flyers now, the team? Yeah,
I think it helps just playing a couple more games, getting more hockey under my belt, kind of going down there and playing maybe a little bit of a different role with the Phantoms there, and just kind of trying to build on my game and improve in the playoffs, then gain experience. I've never really played in a playoff series before. Right. College is always one and done sort of deal. So yeah, I think I gained a lot from that. Just maybe whether it's confidence or kind of just getting a few extra games in. Yeah. But I think it was really good for me to go down there, and I had a lot of fun too because there was such a good group of guys down there, and I'd played with a lot of those guys the year before, and we went down there and I felt like I'd never missed a beat with that team. Went down there and felt just like I'd almost kind of been there all year, just the way those guys are, and so I had a great time going down there and playing too.
That's awesome. Hey, give us some scoop on Lappy. Is he pretty intense?
Yeah, he's intense, but he's intense. But I love playing for him. Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yes,
he's always walking around. He's always got something to say in the locker room, and I love seeing him in the locker room and him giving it to the guys or something or that sort of thing. And I mean, he can take it a bit too from the guys. So
he gives it, takes it.
He's a really fun guy to play for because kind of the way he treats all the players and stuff.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, he keeps it light.
Does he talk about the temple a lot? His body, because he thinks that he has the best body in hockey. For sure, even now. To this day.
He's very confident in his body.
We got to get him in
take
hot
care
rod.
of the temple. The temple takes care of you, Nast.
That's what he says.
Yeah, because you had him last year, the year before, a full year, and then you had him as assistant coach with the Flyers for 10
I never had him, I don't think.
Oh, you didn't have him?
No, he might not have been there.
He was in Lehigh that year.
He was was in Lehigh. Okay, I don't know why I thought he was still assistant coach with the Flyers there at the time when you're for your first 10 games, but I guess because there was a coaching change that year, right? Yeah, that's right. Never mind then, but Lappy's awesome. I played with him. Now, obviously, Nasty had him, and he was the same when he played, man. Absolute warrior. He showed up every night, but also keep the room light and always busting balls and having fun. You got to keep it light, but when it's time to work, the guys know, what they need to do to earn his respect, and it's pretty simple. It's not complicated. With a guy like that.
There's a lot of respect for him just because everyone knows his career and how much of a warrior he was. I saw something maybe he has the 10th most fights all time in the NHL. Jeez. That's pretty crazy.
That's a lot. Yeah. And he's fighting guys way bigger than he should be.
Yeah, for sure. And just he was one of those guys that you respect so much because coming out of junior, this guy scored 100. I mean,
he'll tell you what 142.
He'll tell you how many he had. He set a record or something. He will tell you. I should know it as many times as I heard it.
142.
But he realized he came into the league and he had to change his game and he extended his career. He probably would have played longer if he hadn't have eaten a couple pucks in the face.
Yeah, I guess.
That last year in the finals, he literally, when I say ate him, he damn near lost his eye.
Oh yeah,
it was one of the scariest things I've seen on the ice, but just a great guy. You would think he played 10 years here, Bobby, because he played 1 year, and these people, he had everyone in Philadelphia loving him because of just the way he played and the way he worked. And I think that's, like I said earlier, why the fans love this team and this group that we're building.
Yeah, because what the Flyers awesome. Stand for. Right?
Yeah, it's exactly.
That's exactly how you played and how you guys
you show up to play, and you're okay.
Yeah,
it's a tough town. It's a tough city to be a professional player in any sport.
But simple and
Yeah.
respectable expectations,
For sure.
right? I mean, all you want is your guys to show up and put some effort and
Yeah.
fight to the end, right? I mean,
That's right.
not too much to ask. You're
No.
spending a shitload of money on these games. We're talking about Lappy kind of being silly, funny. Obviously, I think the Flyers have a couple goofballs, probably lots coming to mind. I mean, to talk about who keeps it loose and maybe anything you want to share around that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys in there that keep it loose. Lottie's definitely leading the charge in there. Yorkie's always keeping it loose. He's always got something to say. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of guys, and there's some serious guys too. Naturally, with every team, there's different personalities, but yeah, we have a great group, and those two are hilarious. They always got something funny to say. So
Yeah. I was talking to Beezer this morning, trying to get a couple little scoops on you because I'm obviously not in the room anymore. He told me to mention or maybe ask you about you guys playing in Arizona, and the money on the board wasn't the normal thing. We won't get into what that is, but maybe you could explain to us what happened there in Arizona.
yeah, they were always giving it to me for like my clothes and like my toiletry kit is like a CCM like hockey tape thing so like
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, like you carried your hockey bag.
it's something you put your tape in, and I'm using it as like my toiletry bag, and and like so the guys were like they'd been giving it to me for so long, and Coots like put up on the board like new jeans or something instead of like the money.
Yeah, the money.
And like Beezer went up there and put like new toiletry kit, and Lottie put like new jacket or something.
So they basically gave you a new wardrobe.
So I was really looking for the boys doing that one.
Yeah, I know, right? You're rolling style. Who's this guy?
It's funny, like, the boys are always so good, and they put money up, and then sometimes they throw the trainers up there. You're just like, come on, boys.
Yeah, right? Yeah,
and then it got to be like, if we weren't winning, you're like, just stop putting us up because we want to win more than we want, the money. But that's great. Yeah, he told me to ask you about that. I was gonna say, I love the social media of when you guys win, and I love the dog mask, and going back to when you scored your first 2 goals, you got the player of the game, and I love that video because when you come in and they're Bobby, and I just loved how you just started, because a lot of young guys, they made it but you really took it in, and I'm sure you enjoyed that. It was great.
Yeah, I was just trying to embrace it, and we got a great group, and just they're so happy for another guy when another guy has a good game, and just it's pretty special walking in, all your teammates are cheering you on, and I just try to embrace the moment and have some fun with them.
That was great.
Yeah,
I loved
it
it.
was fun.
We were talking about that baller. Probably throw that up because it was great. I remember seeing that. I was like, fuck, that's awesome, man. And against the Wild too.
Yeah,
Minnesota, were they your team?
I mean, yeah, growing up, I was always rooting for the Wild.
Yeah.
I mean, I was such a bandwagon too. Like I was rooting for other teams too, but whenever the Wild were on, I was always cheering for them.
Yeah, it's a great place. Always fun going to Mini and playing there. Obviously, you know that.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to ask you about being drafted by the Flyers. Going into the draft, having meetings with all these different teams. Did you think you were going to get picked by the Flyers, or was it kind of just a crapshoot and you're just, you knew you were probably going to get drafted fairly high? And
yeah, like I didn't really know exactly where I was going. I didn't really feel like any of like the interviews like stood out. Like no one was telling me, hey, we're going to take you or anything. And the Flyers had the 14th pick, and I thought, I'm probably not going there. So, yeah, I didn't really think I was going to get picked by Philly unless it was in, like, the second round somewhere. I just thought I would go to one of the teams that kind of had, I don't know, like 25 through 30-something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I didn't really think I was going to go to the Flyers, but when they traded for that pick, I kind of felt like it might be for me there. So, yeah, I was really excited. And, I mean, I'd grown up with Chuck's son, and I kind of had a relationship with him. And so, yeah, it was really cool getting drafted by the Flyers. I mean, just like the historic organization, and they had a great team. And And so, yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, that's got to be so exciting, man.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the interview process. You hear all these kind of funny stories, throughout the years of just certain questions that certain organizations or people ask or digging in for information. Is there anything that come up as like way out there, or was it just pretty standard interviews?
I don't know if I got anything that crazy. Like maybe they'd ask you to like tell a joke or something.
Oh yeah,
and like I
You're right on the spot, eh?
yeah, and like I had nothing, so I probably failed that interview.
It wasn't the Flyers, I guess. Yeah.
No, obviously not.
But yeah, like there was nothing too crazy. Like teams were kind of like coming after me a little bit for like my size and my skating ability and that sort of thing. So I feel like my kind of interviews were more along that line of people maybe going after me that way to like put me on the spot, because I think like the teams, they probably like try to get guys like on the spot a little bit to, that's why they ask, tell me a joke and see like how you handle it.
Challenging situation.
I think they kind of took that route with me, like kind of asking me about my size and my skating and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you've proven in this short amount of time that you definitely can play at this level, and I'm looking forward to this team, you guys growing and still a young squad. You throw a couple, obviously, vets thrown in there, but it's only going to get better, in my opinion.
Yeah. Talk about that, like growing up, being a smaller guy. Like, is that something you've heard your whole career? Like, oh, you're small, you're too small. Like, has this always been something? Not that you actually battling through. Maybe you are psychologically, but like, is that something you've heard throughout your career?
Yeah, I mean, like I've probably like maybe didn't like get asked to like do some stuff just because like my size, and it was never like a huge issue. I never felt like it like hurt my game or like I couldn't compete in games, because I always felt like I was like skilled enough and smart enough to play, and like I was having success too. So like I felt like I didn't really feel like pressure about it or any of that sort of thing. I remember like when I was young, like going to like some like AAA tournaments, and like I'm kind of like on the younger side for the birth year, and I was smaller than all those guys, and it was like your first year doing hitting, and like I remember being like scared out there and like not wanting to play in the game and stuff just because you're getting like ran like every time you touch the puck.
Right.
And like you can't even like I wasn't even able to like brace myself for the hit or anything, or like they would just hammer me. And like it wasn't any fun for like a kid my size to do that. I'd just get hammered every time you touch the puck.
Yeah.
But like once you get older, you all kind of start to even out. Like sure, some guys are bigger and stronger, but like you learn how to like take the hit and like maybe kind of reverse it a little bit, so like you're not just getting hammered.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, growing up, I never felt like, besides kind of those times, I never thought like I couldn't play in the game because I was too small. Maybe people were saying it, but it's not how I felt.
Yeah, you didn't let it bother. You let it bother you, or
Danny Briere heard that quite a bit.
Yeah, I know, right?
You know, the game was a lot different too when Danny first got into it, but yeah, you definitely don't have any issues there.
Yeah, you make up for it with compete and just being elusive, and you find a way. I mean, I think that's But you always hear these stories of kids being told, they're too small in this, and you can obviously look at it two different ways, as a flaw or use it as power of some sort. So sounds like that's what you did, even if you didn't even realize it really bothered you. So talking about adversity and all that good stuff. 2022, you had a hip surgery.
Yeah, hip surgery.
Which you never played in games with the Flyers that year. I think you spent the rest of the year with the Phantoms. Talk about that, because you come out of college, play 10 games with the Flyers, you're probably buzzing, you're on a high, and then that happens. Talk about the mindset.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely some adversity, and I mean, you almost don't even realize it as much in the moment as kind of like you were looking at, like, it was really disappointing not to go to the camp and like have a chance to try to make the team out of camp that year. I felt like I was coming in with a lot of momentum, having a good year in college and playing some games with the team. It was really disappointing to like have that surgery, and so like and like it didn't feel good the rest of the year, and like they say like it takes like a year or so to recover, like feel back to full strength after that sort of surgery. So yeah, it was definitely disappointing to kind of just not have a chance to kind of like fight for a spot.
Yeah.
but yeah, like after a year, after like a summer, able to like work out after that, and like, because I started playing again in like January, so I didn't really get a chance to like work out and like feel like at the top of my game when I came back. But then getting a summer under you of skating and working out and kind of getting your leg to feel like your other leg again, and I think that helped, and then yeah, I was just grateful for a chance to compete for a spot again and being able to go to camp that next year.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it sounds like, obviously it was disappointing, but you didn't really let it affect you in one way or another. It was just kind of like, it's part of it. You just got to keep grinding, heal, get better. It's not like there's not that much you could do besides put in the effort and just come back stronger the next year, right? And
yeah, there was nothing I could do, so you just kind of is what it is.
It is what it is, yeah,
that's
exactly.
kind of how I thought about it. It's just like, it is what it is. Just go and hang out, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
And work out in the gym, and then that sort of thing.
Yeah, hopefully get that out of the way early in your career, build off
way.
it, and obviously you come back stronger the next year, which is last year, and had a hell of a year.
Yeah,
I mean,
you did.
individually,
You really did.
as a team.
Yeah,
Nice to see.
Did you make it to WrestleMania, or did you just buy that shirt?
No, I made it to WrestleMania.
You did?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know how many of us went. Maybe 8 guys or so went to WrestleMania.
That's great.
Yeah, that was basically my first experience with WWE.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's crazy to see, like, there's a lot of people that are diehards. I mean, with everything, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, people are really excited about it, and then, I mean, you kind of get excited about once you see other people excited about it, and like how much it means to them, and so yeah, I mean, I had a great time there.
Yeah.
Any big matches?
It's real.
Yeah, it's real. It is real.
Look at his shirt. You know who won.
I think like Cody Rhodes was like the prodigy or something.
Yeah. He ended up.
The other guy had
Were you there?
I didn't go. I watched. Me and Elvis, we watched
Yeah.
it. We didn't go to it, but yeah, I saw the shirt. I was like, that's a great
Yeah,
shirt.
it is a great shirt. Yeah,
That's a great shirt.
yeah,
We were
do a
lucky.
hell of a job with entertainment. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
oh man, we got to meet a few guys back in the day there with WWE and then WCW as well. So our buddy Blue Meanie,
Yeah, Blue
you're
Meanie.
too young. You probably don't know who Blue Meanie is, but he's still kicking around the area. A good friend of ours.
Yeah, man.
That's great. You guys went though. That's so much fun.
Yeah, apparently that was like the biggest event of for basically all time in WWE.
Really?
Yeah,
There was like the
man.
40th anniversary
Yep,
of
it was
WrestleMania.
huge.
They got like John Cena out there,
Yep.
like The Undertaker,
The
and
Rock.
Oh, I bring
The Rock
all the old
came,
school
and-
guys.
yeah, they brought like everyone. So
Nate.
He wasn't out there.
Nature Boy?
Was he, yeah?
He was there, wasn't he, Ric Flair?
I don't think he was there.
Really? Was he not there, Bowler? Oh, never mind. The Nature wasn't there. He's behind you, though.
Well, yeah, he's. I think. I think the Nate is on the decline, man. Have you seen this
Yeah,
guy
this
lately,
guy's
man? He's
doing
doing
rap-
Geico
rap-
commercials and
he's
whatever
sort
else.
of
He's just hanging on.
He did one with Sandy and
He
Lonnie.
did, right? That's right. He did.
That was a tough commercial.
Oh, it was a tough
man.
commercial,
Oof.
yeah.
That was bad. Yeah, that's cool. You guys got to do that as a team, and I guess just wrapping it up, man. We appreciate you and your time, and it's just so much fun watching a young group. Like, I was with the Flyers for 26 years, and I love watching this group and you young guys, and just how you can just tell how tight the group is. And a lot of people say that, but you really can see it when you guys during the games, post games, and just talking to the guys. So wish you a ton of luck this year, and again, congratulations on your deal. Get that out of the way.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you.
Appreciate you hopping by.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
All right,
A great time.
Don't sweat too much out there golfing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, stay cool.
Maybe today's a day I'll take off.
Yeah.
How is your game? What do you shoot?
Probably like a high 70s type of guy. Yeah.
Okay. Well, sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you might. Yeah, we'll help our force. What are you talking about?
We play a lot, so I mean.
Oh, that's awesome. You actually look like a golfer. You look like a golfer, but that's great. But thanks again, brother. We appreciate you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks,
All
buddy.
right.
Big thank you to Bobby Brink for cruising by.
Yep, the Brink House.
Stu, yeah, the Brink House.
Is that gonna stick? I don't think it's gonna
Probably
stick. They
not.
like calling him Bobo.
Yeah, I like Bobo.
Bobby Orr. Brink.
What a dude.
Great guy,
Yeah, I
great
appreciate
kid,
him
man.
stopping by,
yeah, Yeah, hell of a player too. Got a bright future here, as we
Yeah,
talked
looking
about.
forward to the season, seeing him buzz around.
Yep, for sure.
Nast, you know what it is.
I think I know. I think I know. Is it time for Clear Questions?
It is.
Brought to you by Klyr Rum. Go to klyrrum.com/shop. Type in Nasty 2023 Riggs, and you get 35% off your order. PA residents only. Baller, bring it.
What's up, boys? You stuck me back behind the camera again this week.
You're welcome to just come sit right on my lap over here. Talk about it. Got another chair, too.
There we go.
Move once Bobby left. But go ahead, brother.
Anthony DeGrazio over on Twitter is leading us off today. He asks, who is one high-end talent guy you would like the Flyers to have their own version of?
Oh, man.
Wow. Well, you start at the top. I mean, so many guys, but I think a player that I'm going to go with, I'll say either or, and they're brothers, and it's the Tkachuk brothers, because what they bring to the game, they score, they hit, they'll fight if they have to. They just do everything, and they would be, either one of them would be an amazing Flyer. So
Totally.
If you could grab a guy like that, obviously, easy answers, McDavid.
Took my answer.
Oh, well, I'm just saying, like, any of the elite players you would, of course, love to have, but I would say a guy like that really leads the way with points and just the way they play.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking of Matthew Tkachuk. I also was thinking of McDavid, but for obvious reasons. But I like the power forward, like fitting in Philly, obviously, like the grunt work, the attitude, the swagger. McDavid's got his own version of that. I know he's not as physical, but I mean, when you talk about speed like that, like no matter what city you'd go to, you'd appreciate a player like that. I mean, how could you not? So, I mean, naturally, those two guys come to mind too. There's obviously a list of 10 others, but I Tkachuk to me is like the epitome of a power forward. 100%. Any team would want him. Philly would absolutely love him,
right?
And he would love Philly. But
yes,
question.
Would. Great question. Thank you.
Dr. Briz is back.
He's back.
Oh.
He's giving you guys a scenario. It's Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. Which former Flyer goalie are you starting in their prime? Briz, Bouch, or Martin Biron?
Wow.
In their prime.
That's a great question.
Well, it's... Stuck me here. You know what? I'm going to say Riggs, and I'm going to say it because we had a must-win in 2010, and Brian Boucher shut the door and got us into the playoffs. So I'm not sure if that was considered Boucher's prime. I mean, he was obviously had a great year and played amazing in the playoffs, as well as Michael Layton filling in when Boucher got hurt. But I'm going to go with Boucher on that one.
That's where my head was at as well. I think that game sticks out to me. Obviously, Boucher was around way before I was around. I mean, the first round pick to the Flyers.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, Boucher's mine. I never played with Briz. Obviously, he was around the organization with Briz. Play with Marty. I love Marty.
Yeah, I love Marty too. Yeah, it's nothing against Marty.
I'm just thinking, just this based on that. I guess that season alone, and knowing how big that game was, and him stepping up. And,
right.
Boucher, piggyback off you.
Yeah, good question.
All right, Nas, that's a wrap.
That's a wrap, Bob.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
165 in the books.
Cannot
believe it. Until next week for 166. Be sure to give us a shout, like, subscribe, bring some questions.
Yeah, anything.
We got a lot of good stuff.
We appreciate all the support.
Until next week, stay safe, knuckleheads.
See ya.